Well, hi again, everybody. After a couple of weeks away for obvious reasons, we are back with another edition of Inside Furman Athletics. I am Dan Scott, the voice of the Paladins, and with me this week is women's golf coach Jeff Hull, whose team is just about a month away from Southern Conference tournament play. And we're going to talk about all of that, catch you up on how the season has gone so far, and just spend some time talking women's golf. How you doing?
Good. Thanks. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
A lot of traveling for you.
Yeah, a lot of traveling, but it's a good kind of tired, and you know what that's like, right?
Well, yeah, and you kind of got to check off some boxes of the bucket list from a radio standpoint. So good for you.
It's been an incredible last couple of weeks. I'll just say that, and just blessed to have the opportunity. Let's talk about this golf program of yours. This has been a bit of an unusual year and circumstances for you because, A, the number of players you have, B, while you've got Anna Morgan at the top of your list, we're used to seeing some other big names inside your program. It's just been a little bit of a different year for this golf program, hasn't it?
Yeah, I mean it's it's I hate to say it's the new normal, but with transfer portal and things that they are, just that's kind of what it can happen sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So love the kids we have, and got some great ones coming in next year, and looking beyond. So just you have years that are maybe a little more challenging than others, but we're still doing well, and I still feel very confident about where we are and going to the SoCon and rest of the season.
That does the challenge of this season reinvigorate you anyway as a coach?
I mean, I'm pretty much always
just the same guy, right?
I've always said, and we try to preach this to the players, like it's not the situation or the circumstance that causes stress. It's your reaction to that. So, I just feel like whatever we get, we're going to deal with, and we're going to go forward. And, they've responded wonderfully. I mean, we've had a couple really good events this spring, and, I call them the twins, but, Faith and Chloe Johnson both have had some excellent tournaments. And so, we're, I'm just fine.
Well, one thing about having 5 players, you don't have to worry about anybody complaining about lack of playing time, right?
Yeah, and that's the other thing I tell them is I said, you've got such a tremendous opportunity,
right,
to be there. We don't have to worry about qualifying, so we can get out and really work on things that we need to get better at, and don't have to have that cloud of qualifying, which can sometimes be good and bad. But I think right now, it's just, we're 5 and we're a family, and we're just everything that we're doing right now, and we've been talking all year is, these early tournaments are very important. Obviously, it's rankings, it's everything else, but it's really getting us to a point where when we walk to the first tee at SoCon, we know who we are and we know what we need to do, and that's just where we're trying to get to.
Are you at that point yet?
Pretty close. Yeah, I really do. I feel like we're very close to. We haven't quite peaked yet. We've had players peak at certain times. Obviously, you want them all to kind of peak together. But I'm very comfortable with kind of where we are and how we're moving forward.
Well, let's start with Anna Morgan, who is playing at the top. She's I think the reigning or just recent SoCon player of the week. Kind of your anchor. Would that be the safe assumption?
Yeah, I mean we've been fortunate over the years. We've always had kind of that player that comes in and is in that national kind of spotlight. And, Anna's the one for us right now. And, she's having a great year again. She's always we tell her all the time, she always plays well, whether she thinks so or not.
Mm-hmm.
But she's always, doing everything the way she needs to. She works really hard. She's always trying to get better. And I think she's actually better this year than last because, she's added some things to her game that maybe she didn't have in the past. Her short game right now is better than it's ever been. And her putting has actually improved. So she's always been a great ball striker, very competitive. But now when you add those two pieces, it allows her to have bad days be better. And that's all we ever want. We always want, because golf's so hard. and you got to have those days when you're not hitting at your best and still be able to get out there and score. And I think that's the biggest thing with her this year.
And just staying on her individually for just a moment, she's going to be heading to Augusta here shortly, right?
Correct. We go to Clemson this week. We compete Friday through Sunday, and then she'll come home and kind of do some laundry and pack up and go down to Augusta on Monday. And then the practice round, they play the first 2 rounds at Champions Retreat, which is a phenomenal facility in Augusta. So they play there the first 2 rounds. So she'll play her practice round Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday she competes the first 2 rounds, and then they have a cut. And so then, I'm planning on her being there Saturday, and then compete at Augusta National for that title.
And it's just, we were talking earlier, Joe, it just breaks your heart to have to go to Augusta National again, right?
Yeah, it's tough duty, but but you know what, it's great, and I think especially this year with Anna, obviously she played there last year, played pretty well. She's going in there, I think, with a different attitude this year. I think last year you're awestruck. You're playing in this event and you're playing with the best players in the world. But after the year she had last year and how she's done this year, she knows she belongs. And I think she's going in with the mindset of, she's not just going to kind of have fun and be at Augusta. I mean, she wants to win.
Right.
And she's going in there with the mindset that I can, compete. And I think that golf course suits her. I mean, it's a ball striker's golf course, so she always hits it pretty well. And now I think with her improved short game and putting, if she plays her game, I think she'll be right there.
Jeff Hull with us, women's golf, on this week's edition of Inside Furman Athletics. Tell me about the rest of your roster.
Well, so, kind of go age-wise. Caroline Crumrine, junior, been awesome for us so far, this year. She's worked really, really hard, really improved her game, and has really kind of been there, not only as a player, but kind of been that leader, kind of as a good voice, helps the other kids as well. And then coming down, we have 3 freshmen. So the twins, again, as I call them, Faith and Chloe Johnson from Indiana, really have had a good spring. And that's what I'm excited about, is all the freshmen have contributed throughout the year. Chloe finished second down at the Augusta University Invitational, finished second to Anna. So Anna was 12 under, and Chloe was 6 under. I'm sorry, that was at North Florida. What am I talking about?
You got Augusta on the brain.
Yeah,
I can understand that.
On the brain. Sorry, I was at North Florida. Anna shot 12 under, and Chloe shot 6 under. So that was really good to see. And then at Augusta, the following tournament, Faith finished top 20. And again, we got rained out the last day. But I'm just seeing a trend that they're all moving in the right direction. And then Liza LePere is from New Orleans. Has just kind of been that real steady player, and I know that in the fall she was a very, very solid contributor, and I know as we go into these last couple tournaments, that's what we're looking for. Is we're just looking for 5 scores to be there. So we only count 4. So I think I'm just really excited about kind of their development, where they're going.
How do you balance, and again, the circumstances are what they are this year, and you're doing what you can to not just make the best of it, but to use it to your advantage. But how do you balance that as a coach? Because I know, regardless of the sport, one of the things every coach likes is competition for spots, competitions for playing time, and you don't really have that now. So how do you balance that?
Well, I think golf's different. Golf is such an individual sport that you're always competing against yourself anyway. So, yeah, having that extra pressure can be helpful, and I'll be honest with you, sometimes it can be detrimental. I mean, I've had players that don't qualify well, maybe don't get in a tournament, but once they get in a tournament, they do well. So I think what we've tried to do is we've tried to create the competition within practice. Have target scores, whether it's on the short game area, putting, whatever, and just they keep trying to better themselves in these areas, because once you get out on the golf course, you're alone. You've got your teammates and your coaches to wave and support you, but at the end of the day, you're out there by yourself. So that's the beauty of golf, is it is very beneficial to have that support and that competition, but at the same time, you've got to want it yourself, and I think that's what is somewhat good too.
You referenced it briefly, but expand on it a bit, especially with the young players, the progress you've seen from the fall to where we are now with one regular season match remaining before the SoCon in about a month. What kind of progress have you seen?
Oh, tremendous. I mean, I think the biggest thing, the hardest thing for freshmen coming in is, especially at Furman, school's hard, and that's always, the priority of school. And then you've got golf is hard. And golf at the college level is hard.
And time management is hard.
Management is hard. So usually you just kind of got to get through that initial shock. And they've all, I mean, we did so well academically in the fall. I was really proud of all of them. I mean, we had, I think, a 3.75 GPA, with 3 freshmen. So, I mean, 2 of my freshmen had 4.0s. I mean, you come in and you do that well academically. Now the golf can be easier, because now you don't have to try and catch up. And I think there's a whole lot of there's maturing that goes on every year. Even as a coach, we still, we're still trying, to mature as well. But I think as we were talking, we had some meetings last week, and I was talking to girls, and I was in with Mackenzie and one of the players, and I said, this is my 12th year with a freshman class. Like 1 year at Georgia, and I've had 11 seasons. So every year you're kind of dealing with the same stuff. So when they come to you with issues or things, it's like, look, we've had this before. We know what we can do to help you with this. But it's been, I think this year to see the improvement from fall to spring is awesome.
Talking women's golf with Jeff Hull as they head towards what we hope is going to be a long postseason run, which will start on April the 16th with the SoCon tournament. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, this weekend, your final regular season team get together, and it's at Clemson. What's that field like?
It's a good field. That tournament started years ago, even before Kelly went over there. It's at the reserve at Lake Kiowee, so it's a beautiful property, great golf course. They do a really nice job up there, and so it's a great tournament. Field's very solid. It's nice to be close to home, so if people want to come out, you can come out and watch. It'd be great to have some Furman people out there. We usually have some people show up. And it's a course we've done well at in the past. I mean, before they changed the greens, they went from bent to Bermuda, but we won it. We shot 31 under and won the tournament and set a record. But boy, last year they had new greens and they were firm and fast and it was windy. And so I think 31 under is going to be a safe record for a really long time there.
Well, that's not bad. It'll always be Furman holding that record, right?
Yeah. Well, we've got that orange trophy up in our locker room, so it's like sometimes you have to put orange up. If you beat Clemson on their home golf course, you're going to put that one up.
You're going to
sure.
display it, absolutely, no questions asked. Anna obviously has proven that she can play on the national level. There's no question about that. Are your other ladies starting to build that kind of confidence?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's just you don't know it until you're there.
You can't do it until you do it, right?
Yeah, and like for example, Chloe finishing second to Anna down in North Florida. I said, Anna did that her freshman year. We were down in Florida, and Anna finished second to Natalie, and it kind of proved to Anna at that point, hey, I'm as good as all these people.
Right.
So I think once you get a little taste of it, and once you get moving, I think. Yeah, you're going to build that. Again, not every player is going to be at that elite level,
sure.
and we don't expect that. So we always want everybody to kind of just be the very best that they can be. And again, we never know who those players are going to be until they kind of get there.
Well, and when you have that taste of that kind of success, it just serves as a motivator.
Oh, absolutely. Because once you play well, for those of you who play golf, once you play well, you don't want to play bad again.
Yeah, and it's such a frustrating and rewarding sport at the same time because, I mean, just as I haven't played golf in over a decade, but I can just remember as a hack golfer, spraying shots all over the place, and you're ready to start breaking clubs and never play again, and then out of nowhere comes that perfect drive or something, and it brings it back in. I can only imagine what it's like for somebody who's actually good at the sport to experience that success and to learn how to. I mean, there's so much to the physicality and the mechanics of it, but the mental aspect of the game.
I think that's the biggest point. Is the mental part. We don't see. We try to see physical improvements. We always are working on things to be better. But, at the end of the day, it comes down to the mental part and how do we respond, and we've really worked hard this year, especially on the mental part and really trying to say, the reaction to things like, we always, there's a phrase we stole, several people have used it, but, the event plus the reaction equals your outcome. So the event's not going to change. The event is what it is. It's our reaction to that event is going to change our outcome. So if you're not playing well, your reaction needs to be, I'm going to do whatever I can to get it done instead of, the woe is me, kind of thing. So, but they've really responded well to that. And I'm excited.
What fruits are you seeing from the new facility?
Oh,
and all the technology. Have you had it long enough now to start to see some direct results from it?
Yeah, I mean, we're not missing any days. If they want to practice, they can practice. It doesn't matter if it's cold or raining or whatever. Able to get in there and do that. And I think the technology has allowed us to kind of find some very minute things to make better, help them understand it better. But again, golf's still just a dig it out of the dirt sport, so you kind of got to be out on the grass doing it and making it happen. But yeah, it's been so amazing to have that building.
And all the technology that's really coming into every sport is good, but sometimes there can be paralysis by analysis or information overload. Do you find that your different ladies handle different amounts of information?
Sure.
Some want all they can get, and some, hey, just leave me alone. Let me.
There's, we always call it, in anything you do, it's always the art and science,
right.
Part of it. And the science is there, and it's, sometimes it's irrefutable, but the art is understanding how do you take the science and apply it. And golf is, I think, the biggest part of that. There's so many ways that you could take a lot of the technology and overdo it. For example, TrackMan is a technology we have, and it's a little box, it's just a radar, and it tells you your golf swing, and it can tell you so many things that you're right, you could mess up. And as I told somebody, I said, well, it's a very expensive machine that tells you whether it goes up, down, right, or left. So at the end of the day, we're just trying to get them to go either more down, more up, more right, or more left, and see the ball flight go a little different. So.
Pay all that money for somebody who can stand behind you and tell you the same thing, right?
Yeah.
But no, I get it when we're seeing that in all sports. All right, so we mentioned the Clemson Invitational is this weekend at the Reserve at Lake Kiwi. And then Anna goes to Augusta for the women's amateur. And then as a group, April 16th, the Southern Conference Championship in Hilton Head at Moss Creek South Course. What do you know about that course?
Well, we've won there a few times.
That's a pretty good
good
knowledge.
We've always done well when we go to Moss Creek. First time back in a few years. Again, the last time they had it there, we did win. It's a good golf course. I understand they just went through some green renovations in the summer last year, so the greens are probably going to be very firm, like we experienced last year at Clemson. But we've played golf courses. The beauty of our schedule is we played very, very challenging golf courses with very strong fields. So I don't think there's anything that we'll see that will change that.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime you have greens that maybe aren't as receptive to shots, you can kind of go a little bit. But we know the golf course very well. I know the golf course very well. Nobody on the team has played there, but we're very excited to get down there.
Well, what's the makeup of the Southern Conference like this year?
It's kind of normal, kind of like we always are. I think, we've had a couple teams have definitely improved. Western Carolina's done a great job this year, but we've got us, and then I think Western, Mercer, and ETSU, I think, are the top four teams. Chat's pretty close as well. So it's kind of the normal kind of year for SoCon.
Southern Conference Championship, April 16, 17, and 18 at Moss Creek South Course in Hilton Head, and then start looking ahead there, places you've become very accustomed to going. NCAA Regional Championships, May the 8th, and then the NCAA Championships in Scottsdale, Arizona, on May 19th through the 24th.
Yeah, we, again, you win SoCon, we're guaranteed of going to the regional. And the regionals are they've actually increased it now. There's 6 regionals. We used to have 4, so we've got 6 now. And just this year, they've actually increased the national field size from 24 up to 30. So instead of 4 teams advancing, we've actually got 5 from each regional that are going to advance. So, good news for teams because you have more teams going, but because of that, they reduce the number of individuals who go. So now each regional will only send 1 individual of non-qualifying teams to the national championship. So, Anna last year qualified, got to go to the national championship and actually did very well, finished 9th, at the national championship last year. So, you got a couple ways to get there.
Well, it sounds like things are coming together at the right time. Maybe not totally at the peak yet, but it looks like you're trending that way.
I always tell them it's kind of like it's building a house, and when you're looking at the foundation and you got the studs up and you're looking around like going, what is this going to look like, when it's done? And even, when the builders always say 2 more weeks and you're looking at it like, huh? And I keep telling them, we just got a few more weeks, can you see where we're going? And I think they all see it. They see where they are and I see where they are. And I just know that the way they're working and the way we're playing, things are going to go well.
So as we wrap it up, we'll circle back to the Clemson Invitational this weekend. That's, again, a place close enough where if our fans want to go, they can go, and there's plenty of space to watch that match, right?
Yes.
Watch that tournament.
Yep. Bring your comfy shoes. It's a hilly course.
Right. Oh, yeah. We've done a lot of broadcasts from there back in my Clemson days. Dabo Sweeney's preseason golf tournament, and Tommy Bowden when he was the head coach. So, yeah, you're way up on a mountain.
Yeah, it's up there pretty good.
That's good stuff. Hey, Jeff, it's been good catching up.
Thanks, Dan.
Just looking forward to seeing how this team of yours fares with the postseason looming.
Man, I'm excited and I'm confident.
Yeah, and try to make yourself have fun in Augusta.
I'll work on it.
Yeah, I know. Going to Augusta National, I know, just kills you to have to do that. So that's good stuff. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
That is Jeff Hull. This has been Inside Furman Athletics. Hope you enjoyed our women's golf conversation. We will be back with you again next week. And I believe our guest is, I have no idea. We'll have somebody for you. In 2 weeks, it'll be Kirkland Lewis. We'll talk some women's lacrosse. Until then, for Jeff and all of us at Furman, I'm Dan Scott saying God bless you and so long, everybody.